Hello everybody out there who is watching, and welcome to another episode of the ToniSport Newsfeed. Today with a little tech tip. I was just about to rebuild my race cars from the last TOS race in Arena 33 in Andernach. I cleaned everything, I rebuilt my cars, I made some fresh shocks and stuff like that. And I also took some time to refresh my gear differentials. I opened them, I let all the old oil come out, and then I made everything fresh. And while I was doing it and while I was finishing it, I thought, hey, it would be cool to maybe talk about the oil filling process, because always when I do it with a pocket scale to know exactly what amount of oil is inside of my gear diff. And sometimes people ask me why I do it with a pocket scale and if it's necessary or not, and why I do it with this pocket scale. So it's easy to explain. You always try to build your race car as precise as possible. You took a lot of time to adjust your setup, your droop, your ride height, your camber, your toe, your roll centers, everything. You use tweak boards, you use the shock pump to get all the air out of your shock oil and all these things. But then sometimes people always tell me, when I refill my gear differentials, I only put oil inside, and when it's going over the cross pins, I finish. And this is always okay. In my opinion, when you do it, when you put so much time and precision to your race car, you cannot stop doing it when you are building your gear differential, because the gear differential is one of the most important things when you're running a touring car, or maybe all other race cars as well, because there is an amount or a difference you can feel if you have filled maybe 1.5 grams of oil in your diff, or 1.8, or only 1.3, and you can feel this on the track even when it's the same hardness of oil, and that's why I always use this simple kind of a pocket scale, because in my opinion it's the most precise way to get the job done. It is important when you do it, take your time. When you have time to rebuild your diffs, take the diff apart completely, clean everything as good as possible so that there is no more old oil in the case or in the outdrives and the bearings and wherever else. And when you have a complete empty and dry diff, then it's very easy to refill it with some fresh oil. I always use the One Up Racing Blue Slime to cover my O-rings, that they don't swell up. Then I put my differential parts together, and then I place the diff on the pocket scale and start to fill in the oil. It's very precise. You can do it ultra precise with a pocket scale when the scale is working good. When you fill the diff with the diff oil, always take your time. Don't press too much, because then you will overfill the diff. And I think all the manufacturers and all the team drivers of each team, it doesn't matter if it's an X-Ray, an Automatics, an Yokomo, an Mugen, or whatever car it is, all the teams, they have their special amounts of oil which they are putting inside of the differential. Some teams, they use 2 grams because the case is bigger. Other teams, they only use 1.3 grams of oil. But the thing is, when you rebuild your diff always in the same way for yourself, and you always know, hey, I cleaned it up and I filled the same oil back in the differential again, and absolutely the same amount as it was before, then you normally should get the same differential and the same feeling with your car when you go out on the track in the next heat with a fresh filled differential. And that's the reason why I always use the pocket scale, because for me, I feel better, and I feel maybe it's a thing of psychology as well. I feel better when I know that I took my time and that I built my diff as precise as possible when I go back on the racetrack again. From time to time you have to check the O-rings in your gear differential when you maybe feel that the outdrives are not turning as light and smooth as they turned when the diff was new. You maybe have to replace the O-rings from time to time because they will change when they get older for sure. So yeah, that's only a small information, but I recommend to always use a pocket scale when you want to build your gear differential as exactly as possible for your race car and for the next run. That was the tech tip of today. Nothing special, but always pay attention to detail and don't think that you can fill up your differential freehand with only looking by your eyes in a precise way from diff to diff. I think it's not possible to get the diff as it was before when you don't use a pocket scale. Enjoy racing. That's it for today. Thanks for watching the ToniSport Newsfeed and keep racing. Race with ToniSport. You will never race alone, but I think you know that from the previous videos. Goodbye, guys.